morning. How are you today? Deb Eblin. Hope I got that name right, Deb. You get it? Yeah, Deb Eblin sent me this question, and I thought I'd bring it up for you and I to talk about. She said, Jeff, why is it there are just certain life lessons that you have to learn on your own and figure out, sometimes the hard way, even though everyone and their dog who has gone before you has forewarned you or already provided sound counsel? I don't know if that's a question, Deb, or a statement of fact. I mean, I'll just bring up a great example. Balance. A lot of your health is if you can keep your balance. When you cannot keep your balance, you're suddenly old and you're not healthy. And that is rough. That is rough. Do you want to use a walker? I don't. But how many people do you know who are older use walkers? Like all of them? 90% of them? I was at a really fancy, they didn't call it a nursing home. They didn't call it an assisting living center. They had another name that was just super deluxe. Like, well, we are wealthy and we don't just do aging. We do, what did it? They didn't say aging. They said living. You know, the euphemisms you get. In the dining room. You know, tablecloths, linens, there were chandeliers, there was a wait staff that went around, there was a piano in the corner, and it was a big traffic jam. It was a huge traffic jam. The tables were spaced like you would see at a restaurant, and you could not walk across the room. Why? Because everybody had a walker. And so they rolled it up to where they sat, and then they sat down, and then this big old, tank of a walker was sitting right there. You couldn't walk across the room on your feet, much less trying to push a walker through that traffic jam. And I guess they just didn't want to think about it. I mean, when they designed the place, shouldn't they have thought about that, putting a little extra space between the tables? Well, but these were for wealthy people. They're not going to lose their balance. They're too wealthy. Well, I'm not going to lose my balance. That's not going to happen to me. I mean, I know what happened to my grandparents, except the one. He died of a heart attack. But you know what I'm saying, right? We see that, and we simply do not believe it's going to happen to us. You know, that ladder that the other guy fell off of, well, I'm not going to fall off the ladder. Yeah, probably will. I'm not going to need a walker. So that when the doctor says, you need a walker, you're not going to use a walker. And then you're going to fall and break something in your face, and then you're going to use a walker. So there it is. Why didn't you just use the walker? Deb, I'm going to suggest something that that I think works. If you're willing to do it. I knew a guy who would preload decisions, and it looked like this. On his 70th birthday, he'd say, I am done with ridiculous labor. I'm getting rid of my ladders. He didn't say I'm having my ladders taken away or I'm worried about my balance. He formed it in a way that sounded like it was the greatest idea ever. Getting rid of these stupid ladders. That's somebody else's job. And then that also took away the temptation, because although you can say you're not going to use a ladder, when you need to get up on a ladder, you might just go, I'll just do it myself. Okay? And that's when people get hurt. I knew a guy who said when I think 85, he said, I am tired of paying these ridiculous auto insurance premiums, and it's just a waste of money. I'm getting rid of my car. Ah, interesting. Now, sacrifice in the years past, but now as cars are getting smarter and smarter and self-driving, right, I think that that's an actual do and probably a smart play. But they do it in advance. This place we're in right now, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's 3 acres, and my wife, who loves to mow, loves this. Will she do it forever? No, of course not. So last year I said 10 years, Libby, 10 years. What? Let's enjoy and savor this for 10 years. Well, then what? Well, then we will decide. We will decide if we're done enjoying this or not. Okay. And that helps you sort of savor what you have and not take it for granted. So this year, well, now we have 9 more years. 9 more years. Got rid of the vegetable garden. It wasn't growing very well anyway, so we just let it grow over. Was that hard to do? It was at first. Now it's fine. I don't have to weed a garden and harvest spindly vegetables that don't seem to nearly add up to the amount of labor involved. Well, anyway. To look at people who are 20 years ahead of you. If you're 20, look at a 40-year-old. 40, look at a 60. 60, look at an 80. 80, find the 100, right? Those are the people you study. Those are the people you ask advice from, and then decide, do you have to learn the hard lesson, or maybe can you learn their lesson? We'll see. I'm Jeff Gould. The coffee's delicious. The next video's right there. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you next time. God bless.